Welcome to Living Life and Love.
I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a global vitiligo awareness and education podcast. You hear the true and authentic stories from people living with vitiligo. Yeah. You'll also hear from their loved ones, medical professionals, licensed mental health therapists, relationship counselors, global vitiligo support foundations, organizations, community leaders, and so much more. Sit back and enjoy living life in love.
Once again, I'm your host,
Mark Braxton. Raleigh, North Carolina.
Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. So today is my relationship panel. I would like to welcome my guests. Let me welcome Clarence and Dawn. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And I will thank you for being here. I'd like to welcome Stephanie. So Stephanie, welcome.
Hello. Hi.
And it's Stephanie here. And Daryl returning. Thank you for coming back, Daryl. I haven't seen you in a minute, but thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So other people may join us possibly, but we're going to go ahead and on with the conversation. And, you know, February, there's a lot happening in February. It's Black History Month. There's also Valentine's Day coming up, Super Bowl Sunday, which is today. So there's a lot going on, but I really wanted to take a moment with the panel to discuss love. And I know when people hear love, they think, oh, relationships and being with your boo thing and all, which that is a part of it. But I want to talk about in the world today that we're living in, why is love so important? You know, and what I mean, if you turn on the news, you see hate seems to be winning out in so many ways, you know. Whether it's physically being done, whether it's being done through AI, whether it's been done through what people are saying and how we're treating each other. And I just want to unpack that for a little bit and find out just on the panel your thoughts about why love is so important, why it matters so much in this day and time. If anybody want to start first, if not, I will go ahead and open this up because it's something I want to mention as well. All right, I'll go ahead and start, and then we'll go around. I think about my students as I'm teaching. You know, I teach students that come from all over the world, and they're young kids, and as they are growing up and seeing everything that's happening with whether it's our government, whether it's through deportation, whether it's through just how we're treating each other, you know, they have a lot of questions, and what I'm seeing in my students is fear. And as we know, when people start to fear another group of people, they start to hate what they fear. And I really want to find ways, you know, or at least to talk about how can we as citizens, we as some educators and professors and others help people see that love is more important than hating others. Because that's what I really want to teach my students. You know, we're here together. We're here to live in this school together. Yes, we're living in this school because we're here a lot of time together in this classroom. That's their home before they go home. We're learning together. They are eating together. They're playing together. And what I see is, as an 8-year-old or 9-year-old, they're not showing the hatred that I see. I see kids of all colors, all backgrounds, different languages, and they're just playing. This is my friend, you know, and I wish that we as adults can find a way to bring that type of love back to adulthood rather than, you know, what we're seeing today. And I think what we have to do sometimes is learn from our kids, learn from our youth. They're teaching us, but we're not paying attention. Mm-hmm. All right, that's my little spiel to open it up. Anybody want to join in and kind of share your thoughts or ideas, whether it's something personal or just your feelings?
I mean, I think like you said, with all the hate that's going on in the world today, we see it on social media as soon as you turn on television. You see it in your grocery stores. You see it in your churches. You see it everywhere. I think there's a lot of hurt people, and hurt people hurt people. if you know. It's not so common as everyone being that neighbor, like we're supposed to be biblically. You know, people just walk past people like nothing's going on. We had a fatal stabbing here in Winston-Salem at a high school about a month and a half ago. And when I was shown the video, when the little guy ran out of the bathroom and collapsed, there were students that just walked right past him like nothing happened. Like this is becoming, it was just normal, like somebody just falling down. So, I mean, I think, you know, it's not hard to show love, but a lot of people don't exercise that, if you know what I mean. I mean, just a good morning to somebody, how you doing can change somebody's day, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Daryl. And I do remember that on the news when an incident happened. And unfortunately, our youth, let's say our teens, they're so desensitized to anything. It's the norm. You know, somebody fell, let's take a picture of it. Let's put it on social media. Let's just laugh about it. And I think as adults, we've got to teach them something different. It's on us. We own this because our kids are looking at us. Right. You know. All right, let's go to somebody else. But thank you for sharing that, Daryl.
Yes, sir.
Dawn, Stephanie, I'm gonna roll the dice. Whoever wants to speak first.
I can go.
Thank you.
So, when I think of love, because we're talking about love, and the opposite of that is hate. But love to me, love is it's an emotion, it's action, it's feelings. There's things that happen to you when you feel love. Like you mentioned kids, you know, they want to hug you, they want to be close to you, they feel safe, they feel warm. The closest emotion to hate is anger. And what happens to you when you're angry, right? You get tense, you get rigid and hot. And so I think I guess the message is, if for me, when here comes, I'm sorry, my therapist hat comes on, I don't even call it, it just pops up. But anger, we know anger is actually a secondary emotion. And so the hate that you feel, that's anger is usually covered up by fear. So when I think of racism, bigotry, there's a fear of the unknown. So if I don't know you as a people, then I can easily hate you / fear you because I don't know you. And, you know, it's dehumanizing a person, which was a huge part of slavery. It's like, these are not really people. These are things. And so that's what I see as far as like the emotions that come up with hate is not seeing people as human. And if you see them as human, then you're more like a child and you will be more loving and more going towards, as opposed to fear, which makes you go away from something.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie. Clarence and Dawn, I always call you two together because y'all are together in the same room. So it's like a combination, but any one of you want to speak?
February is also Heart Health Month as well. But it doesn't take a lot more energy to hate compared to it's easier to love. But unfortunately, as we all have mentioned, hate is out there, and hate is being taught. We don't come out the womb hating people. We come out the womb easily with love. Mm-hmm. And so it's being taught wherever we go. And so we just have to put it into practice. And unfortunately, we're seeing that. But I think if we just love each other, like Daryl said, show love by just saying good morning, how are you? That's love. Holding the door for somebody, that's love. Shaking your head or just a wave, that's love. So.
Absolutely. And real quick, before we go to Clarence, that hello means a lot.
A whole lot.
You know, whether it's you're talking to your kids, talking to your spouse, or good morning, or how are you, or that stranger. Sometimes just saying hello, that means you see that person. Because we don't know what people are going through daily. We don't know where that person just came from. Maybe they lost somebody. And by you saying hello, that means they're being seen. I recognize you, you know. And so many times we walk by people like this. Like we don't see them. They don't exist. All right, sorry about that. Let me go to Clarence.
You know, I was just looking at something, you know, talking about love, and this is where we're at, because our leadership doesn't show any type of love for anybody but themselves. And I was looking because we have Olympic athlete who simply said they have an issue representing the United States because we're politically divided. And instead of agreeing what he said, our leadership called him a loser.
Yeah.
And we have to understand, like Don said, when children are born, they're born with love in them.
Right.
Nobody has to teach a child how to love their mama. It's instinct.
Right.
But we're taught how to hate. And unfortunately, it's becoming more and more and more a norm. Like they said, you know, Daryl said, I work in a school, middle school. So Mark get the little, I get the teenagers.
Right.
And you see that every time somebody goes to fight, nobody's trying to break it up. Everyone wants the video.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a conversation with a guy, a science teacher, about Black History Month. And I told him, I said, you know, everybody wants to talk about MLK, but nobody wants to understand that it was more than just Martin Luther King who did the marches.
Right.
Nobody talks about the different white people who pushed him to do the marches. He was just the one who was intellectually correct and could speak.
Right.
And they're like, but nobody teaches. He said, why don't they teach that? Because they don't want to teach that part because there's too much positivity behind it.
Right.
And they want to continue to see all the negative.
Right.
So it's easier to love, but we just choose not to because it's just society where we in.
Absolutely. And Clarence, you said something that's important about teaching. I'm going to say this: North Carolina curriculum for elementary schools, they do allow us to teach the civil rights era. And we'll be teaching that in probably about 3 weeks. So what's interesting, you know, a lot of people don't know that it actually started in North Carolina with that Woolsworth counter. And we get to teach that to the students, but we're not just teaching them about the discrimination. We're teaching them how to do peacefully protest. That is a big part of that curriculum. And with that is having them understand that the Non-Student Violent Act, you know, all that started on campus of Shaw University. You know, so they're learning history that nobody wants to teach. Because you're right, they do want to teach Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and what they consider safe, but they don't want you to know that a lot of these movements started with young people, whether they were in college, and then they said after the students from college went on summer break, the students in Durham, high school students, got involved. So, you know, when we talk about love, it's talking about taking care of each other. You know, when we see an injustice or we see something happening that will affect people, I'm not even going to say can, it will affect us. People have to stand up and say, I've got your back. You're my brother. You're my sister. Let me reach out and help you. And we've got to stick to that. I know it gets hard sometimes. I know the fear comes in. Well, if I do that, I could get hurt. If I speak up, this could happen to me. This could happen to my family, because that's where we're at in the country. Again, I'm going to say again, because we've been there before. And it seemed like it went away and now it's coming back just as strong as it was before. To me, this is like the civil rights era part 2.
Yeah.
We're fighting the same fight. The difference now, everything is instant. It's live. We see it. It's in your face. But the same mentality of the heart is still there. I'm going to read something from a song that I like. It's a Prince song. It's called Call My Name. I love the song. It's a great song. But in it, he said, I heard a voice on the news saying people want to stop the war. But he said, if they had a love as sweet as you, they'd forget what they were fighting for. Sometimes I think about that. Like our leaders are so ingrained sometimes with hatred, they forget about love. And maybe if they had somebody to truly love them, they wouldn't want to fight, or they wouldn't
Miss-
want to break up families or rip kids from their parents' arms and take them somewhere else. That's what I mean. Love is powerful, and when you love people, you're going to be there to support people. You're going to be there to show that I care. But when we have people with empty souls, so to speak, then that's the battle we have to fight in itself, to try to show other people there's another path. You don't have to do what they're doing because you see it on TV. There's another path. And the last part, this song is actually a love song, believe it or not. But it's some words in here that are powerful, because he's the next thing he says, it says, "What's the matter with the world today?" So this song was written back, I think, in the 90s, so maybe early 2000s. But just to know, this is nothing new. We're not fighting a new battle. It's been around. We've always want to know what is wrong with the world. And then it says, "The land of the free," somebody lied. Then he says, "They can bug my phone and people around my home. They'll only see you and me making love inside." So, he took it a little different, but still he's saying that, you've got to show love. There's a group of people, we look at, freedom should be for everybody, just to be honest. We're all here for the same purpose. We want to live, we want to work, we want to raise our families. We want to love the people around us. But sometimes people are making it hard to do that. When I walk into a store and I see other people who I think or assume may have different values than me, automatically I'm looking at them like, and that's what it's doing to us. It's a shift, but it's a shift in the wrong way. Because I shouldn't have to walk in the store and look at somebody who may look different from me or have different views or values and think they automatically are this evil or bad person. All right, enough of me talking. Somebody want to jump in? My Malcolm X is coming out.
Well, I mean, you said something that was you said that Prince wrote that song in the 80s.
I think not late 90s, maybe 90s, 2000, something like that.
But Marvin wrote his song before that. What's going on?
Did. Yep.
And so it's like history is repeating itself, and like you were saying, it's the same old quote unquote Jim Crow. It's just they wear different hats now. It's not sheets anymore. It's like you said, it's right in your face. And I'm a concealed carry person, but I'm scared to carry my gun on me. And I've got the carry and conceal license, whereas I can walk into Walmart and I can see Caucasian brothers and sisters with the big gun right on the hip, and they look at you like, say something. Just But if I walk in there with mine, not concealed, even though I can conceal it, but if I walk in there with mine on my hip, then I'm the problem. Mm-hmm. So, I'm 55 years old, and I'm still scared of the police, man. They get behind you, and you that fear comes over. We see what happens in our world today over nothing. Sonya Massey, over nothing. So it's right in your face. It's not hidden anymore. It's kind of scary, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
So yeah, it is. But how do we as adults now regain that sense of love towards one another? What are things that we can do to shift things? I think there has to be a shift. Yes, we saw it going in one direction. What can we do to help move it in the other direction? Any ideas?
I mean, I think keep doing what we as African American people have always done. Most of us African Americans will help a person before we'll ever hurt them. And I mean, we have to just love a little bit harder. I mean, it's hard out here, but everybody's hurting, like you said before. We don't know what the next person is going through. They might be ready to just jump off a bridge, but I mean, the Bible says to bless those who curse you. That's very hard to do. I'm a preacher, but that's still very hard to do. But sometimes we have to be the bigger man. Even though if we're getting cussed out or whatever, we have to be the bigger man and just show more love. It's hard to do, like I said, but it can be done.
I'm with you when you're right there. I always say I love you, but don't lay your hands on me.
Right.
Talk about me all you want, but as long as you don't put your hands on me, we go.
Right.
Now,
That's what Daryl said. The Bible also said, "Love those who despitefully use you."
Mm-hmm.
right.
So there's times to where we have to do what's uncomfortable,
Mhm.
and it's going to take those people who have the love of God in you, because eventually, like it says in John, light and dark can't be in the same place. So eventually, your love is going to outshine the darkness. But you got to be willing to love those who are unlovable.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he said, those who talk about you. And look, it's hard. It ain't easy to do it, but you have to be willing to. You know what? Even because you do this, I'm gonna go that extra mile.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think about a situation that happened. Gosh, this is probably 2019. I was at a light and witnessed a car accident. Like, it happened in my face, the car spinning. And without hesitation, I didn't even think about it. I just went to the car. There was an older lady, and she was a white lady, and she needed help. There was a young lady that was recording. No, don't record. She needs help, And I asked questions, can you move? Because I didn't want to move her, but her car was leaking gas and wanted to get away from it. Not one time did I think about, who did you vote for? What was your religion? How much money do you have? No, it didn't matter. That was a human being in need, and another lady came over and we both helped her to the corner. And, all I said to the officer, make sure she's okay. I didn't want no thanks, none of that. I just want to make sure she was okay to get away from the car. And he did call me later, the officer, and he said she was very thankful for you helping. She didn't know who you were, but she just knew this man helped me. And yeah, I said, I told him, I said, that's what we should do for each other. We take care of each other,
Right.
regardless of any of that other stuff. Because when it comes down to it, none of that stuff matters.
Nope.
When you're in your grave, none of it matters.
No.
Take care of people while we're here on this earth. Show love. And that's how you show love, by doing what Clarence said, doing what's hard.
Right.
Sometimes loving certain people is hard. It is. And sometimes we can walk away from it like, nah, I'm good. I ain't helping that person. But sometimes we got to be better than that. We have to be better. Stephanie, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, what you all are saying about treating people as human beings. You asked, how do we show love? How do we continue to be of love? Is seeing people as human beings, not as purple, brown, green, man, woman. Like, I love you and I honor you as a person just because you are a person. Like, you're put on this earth. I'm put on this earth. We're put on this earth to actually love one another, no matter who we are. And so once you dehumanize a person, it's easier to hate them. Like, they're not a person. But when you realize that we were all created by our creator, whoever that is, and we were put on this earth to love above everything else. And just remembering that helps you.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes the same people you hate may be the same person you need down the road.
Right.
And and there was a movie, I can't remember the name of it, where the man, he did not like black people. He was so hateful, but yet when he got into an accident, I think that's what it was. It was a black lady that helped him, but he didn't want that help, but he needed it. And sometimes our own, I say, rotten hearts can put us in a situation that could be life or death. And the person you need is the same person you say you hate, but no, put that hate aside, get to know each other. I'm gonna spend a little time. I know we talked about this aspect of love. Let's talk a little bit about relationships in a sense. because Valentine's Day is coming up. And I didn't want to stick on this part of it too long, but Valentine's Day is coming up very soon. And we know this is an opportunity for people to show love, you know. And some people, I'm going to say this, and it may not sit right with some people, and others may understand it. Not everybody knows how to love. And I think in this moment, in this time, as we go, oh, it's Valentine's Day, we should be able to show somebody love through small gestures. If I write you a note just to say, you're special, you're valued, that's me showing love to somebody, whether I give it to a stranger or something, or just speaking to one another. Because sometimes we can be in the grocery store, we can be at Target, Starbucks, and we don't say a word to people.
Right.
You know, and we try to avoid it. I know sometimes I do avoid small talk just because I don't like it. My introverted self says, I can't deal with this. How's the weather? Oh, gosh, I'm talk about the weather. It's great. Wonderful. I love it. Yeah. Go get some snow. I don't talk about that, but you have a wonderful day. You know, sometimes it is the smallest gesture of holding the door for somebody and watching them say thank you. And it's somebody maybe of the opposite color or ethnicity. However, some people will take advantage of your kindness.
And don't say thank you.
Don't say thank you, but that's enough. Hold the door open just enough so you have to still hold the door. So yeah, you're still gonna have to open the door a little bit and say thank you. But yeah, I've been burned a couple times.
I'll say thank you.
Yeah. But let's talk a little bit about Valentine's Day and just loving people. How do you guys celebrate, if you do? Not everybody celebrates it. And why do you think this should be a special time, even though it's a short period of time in February?
So my kids are adults now. They're in their 20s, young adults. But I've always celebrated Valentine's with them. Like I've always gotten them, you know, some chocolate, stuffed animals when they were little. I think it doesn't have to be romantic love. Love is love. And so sometimes I'll go out with my girlfriends. We'll do, you know, give each other flowers, go out to eat, have some chocolate. I think it's just showing love. It doesn't have to be somebody who you are in love with, like romantically in love with. I think the action itself just values that person. You're showing value. You're showing, I see you. I know you exist. Here's a piece of candy.
Right.
And you know, everybody loves that piece of candy. I don't care who you are. Let somebody give you a Hershey's Kiss. You can be like, oh, thank you. And you might turn your back and be like, well, it's good. Yeah. You know, right. we all like to feel appreciated. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right. And seen. We like to know that I'm not just on this earth, you know, like somebody sees me, they recognize me, and they value me.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to jump in? All right, let me say this. At one point in my life, I did hate Valentine's Day. I was like, man, you know, people spend all this money for Valentine's Day. They go all out just for one day. They should be doing this year round, which I still feel this way. I still feel that way, that whatever you're doing on that one day, you should be doing it before that day and after that day. Yes, right. You can go a little extra on Valentine's Day. We get it, because it's supposed to be a day of extra love, you know. But after that day is over, still show you appreciate that person you're with if you're in a relationship. If you're not, reach out to your brothers, your sisters, your mom, dad, if they're still with you, or cousins or friends or somebody. Just say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. A simple I'm thinking about you goes a long ways.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate of self-love too.
Absolutely.
Treat yourself sometime.
Right.
Take yourself out to dinner.
Right.
You're the best day ever.
Yeah. Look, and if I spend more than I wanted to, guess what? I just spent it on myself.
Save your receipt.
But no, that is important. That's self-love. Because I feel like before you can love other people fully or to the fullest, you've got to love yourself. You know, that means whether it's emotionally taking care of yourself, physically taking care of yourself, spiritually taking care of yourself. You got to do all these things before you could truly love other people.
Right.
Because people can see through that.
Right.
I mean, we think people can't see it, but we can tell when it's fake.
Oh
And
yeah.
nobody wants fake love at all.
Right.
Brand Nubian said it best: "Love me or leave me alone." Plain and simple.
That's it.
And everybody has their own way of loving people. So, Darren, you want to add anything?
It's all been said in a nutshell. Basically, I think like love is an action word. So I can give you roses and chocolate and all of that, but if I don't talk to you, if I don't see you, if you're in my presence, but you're just there,
Right.
that's not love. And a lot of people get that word love just misconstrued into, So I mean, I've always thought, like you said, if I love you today, I need to be loving you tomorrow, the next day, next day, and the next day. It's not just this day, February 14th, I'm going to love you, I'm going to shower you with gifts, but tomorrow I ain't talking to you, I don't care what you look like, I'm not opening no doors for you. If that's the case, then love is so misconstrued, man. It means a lot. It means a lot of different things to people. Some people, it means I'm going to give you some chocolate and a gift. That's the way I love you, but I don't talk to you. I don't want to go nowhere with you. I don't want to hear your problems. And I think a lot of people get that word misconstrued.
They do.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not always romantic love, like Stephanie mentioned. It's those friendships too. We do talk about romantic love, but you think about the friends that you have in your life, or the people you have in your life, and the love that you show them. And I'm gonna bring this up. Think about one of my good friends that's no longer with us, and the amount of people that loved him so much. And that was James, that was on his podcast. There's a lot I didn't know. Like when I say the impact he made on people's lives, I'm like, wow, this man was well loved by everybody. And it's when you love people, you check on them, you talk to them. You share with them, and you might not always talk to them every day, but you still reach out, because even as men, as rough and gruff and tough as we can be sometimes, or present to be, we need that time. We need that attention. We need people to check on us, just to say, "Are you all right, my brother?"
Yes.
But sometimes we don't do that. We don't hear it, and we need it. And I'm gonna say this, and I sometimes feel the ladies have an advantage over us, because you will get together in your groups with your friends and celebrate each other. For the guys, we might get together for a game, maybe, but most times we're not that intentional to get together. A few of us might, but we need to do more of that, just to celebrate each other, just to, once again, like Stephanie said, to say, "I see you," because men have to say that to each other too. Because if not, what we're going to get is a group of men that may have power, but have empty hearts and souls.
Right.
Sound familiar?
Because you was taught, men was taught.
Absolutely.
But it also takes that men to be untaught that.
Yeah. But
Right, Stephanie?
Yep.
Yeah. You know where it starts though? We as men have to teach our youth. We have to teach our kids that. Because I see these little boys running around here. You're 8, and you run around here with a chip on your shoulder. I'm like, "You're 8. Go play with your toys." Go read your book. What's wrong with you? But that's what they're seeing. That's what they're being taught. So it goes back to that love, self-love. A person who can love themselves can also show somebody else how to love.
So true.
This is not going to be a long conversation. Anybody have anything else you want to share? Because we're going to wrap things up soon, because I got to get into the kitchen, y'all. Don't tell nobody. I'm actually going to get in there and do some cooking. I don't cook often, but I could do a little something. But yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. Anybody want to share any thoughts about love, about relationships, or anything you want to share with somebody listening?
I mean, like you were saying about men, we do hold a lot of things in. 2025 was a very traumatic year for me. I lost so many people. I lost my mom in August. And that's the biggest loss and the most hurt that I've ever felt in my life. And I'm still feeling it. But to have brothers to call me and do what you said, hey man, I'm just checking on you, just making sure everything's all right, because that grief is real.
Yeah.
It's terribly real. And you were talking about James. I had suffered so much death in that short period of time because, Myrick's mom passed and I had to go do the prayer of comfort for his family. And his mother was a lady that gave me comfort on the day my mom died, because I called him and I said, my mom just passed, and he had me on speakerphone, and his mom said to me, baby, it's all right. So 4 months later, I'm speaking over her, telling the family, this is what she said to me. Now I'm saying it to you. It's already all right. But not even a week later, I get the call about James. And I was so, I'm an encourager. But at that point, I'm broken. And I was so broken that I called and I couldn't go to James' funeral because I physically thought I might not be able to handle it. And then just last week, my aunt passed away. She dropped dead and couldn't go to her funeral because it was snowing here and it was snowing there. So we had to video it, but so much death. And my first cousin, that was his mom, he played the organ for my mom's funeral. And he was one of the guys that is, man, I'm just calling to check on you. I'm just calling to check on you. Now I'm doing that for him, yet still broken. Doing that for Myrick, yet still broken. So it's good to have that council of brothers that you can lean on, that will call you and say, hey, man, I'm just thinking about you. And with most of my brothers, even you, Mark, when we end our conversation, we both say, I love you, man. Yeah. Because that's valuable. That's that we give to each other. Like Stephanie was saying, everybody likes to be seen. Everybody likes to be acknowledged. And that acknowledgement during my time of grief, it's been fantastic. Because some people will just, they'll see you and they'll leave you alone. Including our quote unquote frat brothers, Mark.
Whatever. What did he say? Oh, yeah. But you know what? And with that, we're dealing with people, and not everybody values that time with the person. Not everybody values the friendship or the relationship you have with someone. And like I said, simply just reaching out. Hey, how are you? How's it going? You don't have to have a long conversation, but that lets the other person know you thought about me. Clarence reached out during the ice storm. You guys okay? I appreciated that. Yeah, because we don't typically get snow. We did the following week, but we get ice. And ice, you can't do anything with ice. And people that are listening, I'm talking about the stuff that comes out the sky, because I got blocked on Facebook by mentioning the ice. And I was like, that's stupid.
What?
Yeah. And I had to rewrite it, and then it approved it. Because I was trying to show the blocks. Anyway. But just to have somebody to check on you, to say, hey, are you okay? How's it going? That matters. It matters a lot. I'll reach out. I'll talk to Stephanie from time to time. These things matter. These friendships matter. Relationships matter. And to love people doesn't mean I have to always run around saying, hey, I love you. I love you. I love you. Sometimes it's just a person picking up the phone, sending a text, a voice message, or a picture of something, or sharing things. That's all love. Because that means that in the 24 hours we have in our day, you found time to say to that person, I thought about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it doesn't mean, oh, I thought about you, Davey. What's up? It's none of that. It's just really just loving people. And I think we have to get back to that. And we have to be intentional on doing so. And it starts with us, once again, as the adults in the room. And I'm talking about our generation and up. We mess things up. We have messed things up for our younger generation, and they are going wild. But I think we still have time to say, let's course correct. You know, let's show you how we should have been doing things. You know, when I'm teaching my students and they ask questions about why did this happen? Well, people make choices, and sometimes we don't always make the best choice for all the people. We make best choices for ourselves because we become selfish, you know. And when we do that, it impacts other people. We don't care how it impacts them down the road, but it still has an impact. But you don't have to make the same mistakes. And that's what I tell them. You don't have to make the same choice. You can do better than us. That's why you're here to learn. Do better than us.
Right.
Now put that book down that you're not supposed to be reading and focus on the lesson. All right. Let's do this because I'm gonna wrap things up because, like I said, I gotta get in the kitchen, get ready, cook a little bit. Hopefully, I don't burn nothing, but we'll see. But let's go around and share some words of encouragement for our listeners, and then I'll wrap us up. Let's start with the couple over there. Let's start with Clarence and Dawn.
What are we supposed to say?
Just words of encouragement to anybody out there listening, because we're gonna wrap things up now.
Just continue to love yourself, and just show love to anybody you come across.
Ditto.
Ditto. I like that. Just keep it sweet and simple. Just hey,
There you go.
that's it. All right, let's go down to Daryl.
I think it's been said, but just love one another like you love your family, your friends. Just show love to everyone, because the situations, you never know what someone else needs, and you might be the tool to give that to them. Share your testimony, share what you've been through, because so many people are walking around not knowing that somebody else went through the same trauma that I've gone through.
Right.
So just share yourself with others. Just share yourself with others.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And Stephanie?
Yeah, it's kind of along the same lines as everyone else. Be the love. If you are love, then you're showing love as an action. Since all human behavior serves a purpose, when you think of loving someone or extending love to someone, the purpose is to show them love. Like Daryl said, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what traumas they're experiencing, what loss they have experienced. So if you go into it with the motivation or the purpose to just show someone that they are loved, then that's enough. You know, you don't have to gain anything from loving anyone except to show them love.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you all for those words. And I do want to expand on something that Daryl said, and then I'll wrap us up. He said you could be the tool to help somebody else. You can't. We don't know how many broken people are walking around. Right. Just because someone is smiling, having fun, they're going to work, they're doing all these great things, they're going on great vacations. You don't know what they're dealing with internally. Mm-hmm. A lot of us are or have experienced grief in a short amount of time, but yet we still know we have to live. You know, regardless of what you're going through, you have to live, but pour into other people. Because some of us do have empty cups, and we just need just a little bit poured into us just to help us make it through the day or through the week or through the month. And you don't know, as much as you pour into that person, they might pour into somebody else. If that is a continuous cycle, we're going to be building people up, lifting people up. And that is a great way to show love, you know, and it is so important. And I mentioned this before on one of the other podcasts a long time ago. Burt Bacharach, What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. That is one of my favorite songs when I listen to it. It's just a smooth song, plain, simple, and it's a timeless classic that's still relevant to this day. And to be honest, the first time I heard it was on Austin Powers. I was watching that movie and I heard the song because he was on the bus and he was like, Burt Bacharach, everybody. I was like, I like that song. But then I started really listening to it. I'm like, oh, that song really matters, you know. So on this day, and for people, if you listen to this conversation, please show people love. Even if your team wins the Super Bowl and you or loses, show people love. People might be hurt, but you know, it's all a lot of fun for the Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl of life, people need love. Let's show people love. You have been listening. No, before I even get to that, before I close out, I want to say thank you to Clarence and Dawn, Stephanie, and Daryl for being here, for sharing your input. I always appreciate it. And I'll let you guys know we're going to have another relationship podcast. But until then, once again, thank you. But to my listeners, you have been listening to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. Oh, yeah, if you heard my intro, that is not me singing. That is somebody else. That is an AI tool I use. I do not sing, but I can write and put together music. I just want to share that because somebody's going to be like, oh, Mark singing now. No, I don't do that. But I still love myself, and you should love yourself too and love other people around you. Once again, listening to Living Life and Love. Y'all take care, peace, and have a wonderful day. Peace.
Love y'all.
Dear God, can you hear us cry? Our streets are filled with pain. We're losing mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters again. And nothing feels the same. This country's going insane. The insanity is overflowing our brains. The news keeps showing faces that never made it home. How many more tomorrows must be carved in stone? Or we're broken, divided, and socially bound by fear from our own leaders who's keeping us down.
We're reaching, calling your name. The country's instinct to hear this broken place. Wash away our sins.
This madness, calm the storm. We've been living life on repeat for too long. Give me your hand so I can once again stand. Heal our hearts, wrap your mercy around this land. Make the wounded strong and sad tears of families torn apart. Their cries echoes all around and it breaks my heart. Please, Lord, reach down from heaven right now and wash these tears from the nation's ground.
Children asking questions that we can't answer clear. Why is love so distant when hate feels so near? We march and we light the candles, but peace feels out of reach. So we lift our hands together and pray while hearts can't preach. We're aching from reality, dreams turning into smoke. Through the ashes we still believe the promises won't be broke.
God, stop the madness, calm the storm.
We've been bleeding far too long. Wrap your mercy round this land, and please, dear Lord, make the wounded strong.
Hear the tears of families torn apart. I hear the cries echo from their broken hearts. Please, Lord, reach down from heaven right now and wash these tears from the nation's ground.
Mend the hearts that can't forget. Teach us all how to love and live.
Yes, how to love and live. We need your light to show the way to dawn from the endless
God, stop
grave.
the madness, heal the streets. Get rid of hate and let compassion take its seat. Bind the wounds, restore the sound. Restore our faith that hope can be found.
For every tear a family has cried.
For every soul the heavens bow.
Please, Lord, reach down from heaven and wash these tears from the nation's ground.